everyone, Live It Like Lisa here, and in today's video I will be sharing a bit of a Halloween decor project with you guys. I got this idea off Pinterest and I'm basically going to just try and replicate it. Now I couldn't find any instructions on how to do this, so I'm just going to be basically winging it based on what I can see in the picture, and I'll insert the inspiration for this project here now so you can see what we're going to be making. And I thought this would make a pretty cool DIY display for Halloween. So what I have bought here is a old dictionary which I picked up from a thrift store. What we're going to do first is age these pages a little bit more. So what you're going to need for that, I've just got a big bowl here. I'm just boiling some water up at the moment, and we're going to just put in some plain black tea bags to dye this water, and then once it's cooled down I'm going to put it in a spray bottle and we're going to spray the book to age these pages with the color of the tea. I'm opening the book to roughly the middle because that is pretty much where we want the display to be. Guys, so we've finished doing the staining, and if you can see, I don't know if it's really picking it up on camera, but that's kind of like the color that it used to be, and this is sort of the color of the two pages that I'll be using as the top. I dried it all with a hairdryer, which gave a lovely sort of wrinkled look to the pages. That worked really well. I do have a heat gun, but I just thought that the hairdryer was a little bit more forceful with the hot air. I just think it really crinkled up the pages quite nicely using the hairdryer. So that's what we've got, and what we're going to do now is just decorate the outside. I'm going to be using some black acrylic paint to color it, and maybe a bit of browns to give it a bit of an aged and rustic feel. And we'll probably do a little bit of inking to some of the pages as well. I'm really happy with the way that looks actually. Like, it's really thickened up the spine, like the pages and everything. So yeah, pretty happy with how that turned out. Alright, so we'll just let that dry out now. It's looking quite old and weathered. Now what I am going to do is just rip out a couple of pages from the book, because we are going to need some of these pages to create the flames and things, what's going to go around the book. So that should do. All right, so I've just been having a look at the book, and to me, I think the edges of the book looked way too new compared to how old the pages now look. So what I'm doing is just getting like a knife and I'm actually just scuffing up all the book cover. All right, guys, before we go on, I just wanted to give you a little update on the book. So I wasn't happy with the way the pages and everything was looking. It wasn't looking authentic enough for me. So what I ended up doing is I went back with some burnt umber. I put it in a little dish and watered it down, and basically just painted over the pages with that burnt umber watered down mix. Like, I really love how it looks now. It definitely looks a lot more authentic, and I even brushed over the page with it as well. So basically what I did is I held the book together like that and just soaked the edges in the paint. So I just painted it on with a paintbrush so that it was all soaked in, and then dried it with a hairdryer again, because the hairdryer I really like because it gives it that volume. You see how it sort of makes the pages a lot more air between them, so that it gives it a lot more of a thicker look. Okay, so for this next part, we're going to start constructing the middle of the book, which is where the flame comes from. So I've just got here, this is just an old candle, like it used to have a candle inside, and I've just cleaned it out, and it's just the perfect size for this project, I think. You can use anything because we're only going to be putting in a battery powered candle. It's just going to sit in there. Clearly you don't want to use a real candle in this project because it will just go up in real flames. So anything like a small little holder that you can stick your papers and wire around and that the candle can sit in will do. It doesn't have to be glass, can be plastic or anything like that. And I've just got some, this is just very thin wire, easily bendable. It's probably even small enough you could cut with real scissors. I've just got wire cutters. So we're just going to be now hot gluing some of this wire around this pot and twisting it up to make it look like a flame, or where all the papers are going to go attached to it to make it look like a flame. So I've got my hot glue heating up. I'm going to cut a few little strips off this now. So next step, I've just drawn 4 flame shapes, just roughly. I've just got some ideas off the internet because I'm not a drawer myself. I'm not too bad at copying, but I can't come up with things myself. So I've just drawn a couple of 4 different flame shapes off the internet, and I'm just going to probably take, that one's torn, so we'll use that for another sheet. Probably just 2 sheets, and we're just going to cut out those shapes. So I'm just going to join the 2 sheets together and just cut them out because we're just going to go round the edge of this one with some of these. Maybe do 3 just to be on the safe side. So make 3 sheets and then just cut those out. What we're going to do now, and what I also did, I didn't have any black wire, so I've just spray painted the wire black, just so that it looks similar to the Pinterest picture. We're going to attach them around here using some PVA glue. So we're back to do a second round. So I'm going to use the same shapes, but this time I'm just going to tear a little bit off the bottom so they're a little bit shorter than the previous ones, and then we're going to stick those towards the bottom as well. So while all of our papers are drying, I just put a bit of a heat gun to it just to give it a bit of a head start. But I'm going to start shaping the wires now to make our flames. Now, because it's fire, you want it to be pretty like curvy and flowy. So I'm just going to move some out the way and we'll start on one. So probably, now there's no right or wrong to this. It's basically just however you feel. Okay, so this is just going to give us a bit of a framework to put the rest of the flames on, or like the paper flames, pretty much like what we've done here. So for our little flames, again, I'm just cutting up some smaller shapes, and we're basically going to glue them on, you know, like a twisted sort of fashion so that they look like little flames going up. So I've finished painting the little flame fire, and what I'm going to do now, just as a last step, I'm just going to hot glue this little fan shape at the bottom of that, so that when it sits on the book, it's got a little bit of a platform to sit on. And I'm not going to stick this to the book. I'm just going to sit it on the book, just so that when I need to store it, it'll make it a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do now is just take a little bit of glue and some glitter, and I'm just going to dab a little bit of gold and orangey colored glitter on a few places around. Like, I'm not going to cover it, but just so that when the tea light candle's in there, I'm hoping it'll capture a bit of the glitter and sort of, you know, reflect the light a little bit. Okay, so last thing now, we've got our little battery operated candle, and we're just going to sticky tape some red cellophane over it, just to give it more of a reddish glow to the fire. Well, there you go, guys. All the books all finished now. I'm quite happy with the way that's turned out, actually. And I think it's just, the glitter's just given it that, I don't know if it's really coming up on camera, but in real life, it's just sort of gleaming just enough off the light that you can sort of, it feels like it's twickering or flickering, I guess, to sort of simulate a bit of the flame. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because I've got a few more Halloween style projects up my sleeve for this year. and probably something a little bit out of the box as well. I'm trying to come up with some new ideas that you don't always see. And yeah, like this one was a Pinterest inspired one, so hopefully you enjoyed watching me create this one, and hopefully you give it a go yourself, because I mean, like you see in the video, it's not hard and it was actually really a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, share this video if you think someone else might like it, and I will see you in my next one. Thanks for watching.